I wanted to like go back a bit. You mentioned you mentioned that like a lot of couples come to you with like really heavy burdens in their life. I wanted to ask, what are some what are some issues that you see coming up more commonly when things like intimacy and communication is not discussed in a relationship?
Couples who, okay, first of all, we're not really comfortable as a society talking about sex. So there are
Yeah.
lots of people who are married who actually have difficulties with sex and then sweep it under the carpet and they don't want to address it and they don't know who to go to. And so it creates a lot of communication problems with like communication shutdown to threat of separation and divorce. And so some of the common reasons, as I mentioned, like vaginismus, because if you can't have penetrative sex, then it's linked to the fear of your partner cheating on you, leaving you, dumping you, divorcing you, and also not being able to have kids. It's all kind of like linked together. You know, this is like if their intention is to have kids. So it is very, very heavy things. And I think the reason why they don't really talk about it as a society is we don't hear people talking about them in healthy, open ways, which is why it was so important for me to put out my YouTube videos. And so when they do talk about it, they may be shy even talking about it. There's a lot of shame, and then there's a lot of self-blame, and then of course the easiest thing is to do finger pointing, to point at the other person and say, what about you? So a lot of the kind of toxic behaviors that plays out in our childhood, sometimes we just play out in our relationships, and we don't really know how to have a healthy relationship if our parents isn't that kind of a model for us. And as a society, we don't really advocate for people to speak up and to speak their truth. So as a society itself, it's always about, oh, must save face, must spare their feelings, let's tiptoe around this issue, or let's not talk about this. So if we are conditioned to keep doing this, so when it comes to sexuality and intimacy challenges, it's also another topic. So don't blame sex, okay? It is the way we were brought up, and it is our own dysfunctional relationships in our own lives that we see. So I see a lot of abuse actually happening in relationships, a lot. And so that is also another area to tackle. Like, you don't talk to your spouse like that. Remember, you are calling this person your beloved, and you are actually shouting and screaming at them. Like, if you are not going to talk like that to a stranger, why are you doing this to the closest people in your life? So I myself also had to learn to have healthier relationships in my life, including with my parents. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect, and I'm very privileged and very honored to be able to hold space for so many people. And through my clients, I also reflect on myself and how I can be a better person. So so my clients has also helped me to deepen my own relationship with myself and the relationships around me.